Chapter 20. A man called Ove and an intruder. For almost 20 minutes, Ove sits in the driver's seat of the Saab with the garage door open. For the first 5 minutes, the cat stares at him impatiently from the passenger seat. During the next 5, it begins to look properly worried. In the end, it tries to open the door itself. When this fails, it promptly lies down on the seat and goes to sleep. Ove glances at it as it rolls onto its side and starts snoring. He has to concede that the cat annoyance has a very direct approach to problem solving. He looks out over the parking area again at the garage opposite. He must have stood out there with Rune 100 times. They were friends once. Ove can't think of very many people in his life he could describe as much. Ove and Ove's wife were the first people to move into this street of terraced houses all those years ago, when it had only recently been built and was still surrounded by trees. That same day, Rune and Rune's wife moved in. Anita was also pregnant and, of course, immediately became best friends with Ove's wife in that way only women knew how. And just as all women who become best friends, they both had the idea that Rune and Ove had to become best friends. Because they had so many interests in common, Ove couldn't really understand what they meant by that. After all, Rune drove a Volvo. Not that Ove exactly had anything against Rune apart from that. He had a proper job, and he didn't talk more than he had to. Admittedly, he did drive that Volvo, but as Ove's wife kept insisting, this did not necessarily make a person immoral. So Ove put up with him. After a period, he even lent him tools. And one afternoon, standing in the parking area, thumbs tucked into their belts, they got caught up in a conversation about lawnmower prices. When they parted, they shook hands, as if the mutual decision to become friends was a business agreement. When the two men later found out that all sorts of people were moving into the area, they sat down in Ove and Sonia's kitchen for consultations. By the time they emerged from these, they had established a shared framework of rules, signs clarifying what was permitted or not, and a newly set up steering group for the Residents' Association. Ove was the chairman, Rune the vice chairman. In the months that followed, they went to the dump together, grumbled at people who had parked their cars incorrectly, bargained for better ideas on paint and drain pipes at the iron moors, stood on either side of the man from the telephone company when he came to install telephones, and Jack Flax brusquely pointing out where and how he should best go about it.